Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to those of you around the world. Welcome to the daily Trade the Chain crypto update, where we give you everything you need to know for the next 24 hours and hopefully the next few days. Today is Monday, March 27th. We are at the top of the week, and we just got hit with some interesting news in the crypto markets. So actually, give me let's actually pull up Twitter really quick and get that prepped up, because there's actually a lot of things that just came across the news wire. So the biggest thing that just came across, and let's see if I can find the headline, is here we go. So Binance and CZ, the CEO of Binance, was sued by the CFTC over regulatory violations. The violations themselves, I believe, this account posted them. Yes. So basically, CZ is accused of trading on approximately 300 house accounts that are all directly or indirectly owned by him. And he also is traded on the Binance platform through 2 individual accounts. So the big thing here is that if anybody understands U.S. exchange law, and even if you're a trader for a company, there's a lot of restrictions around what you can and can't trade. There's a lot of restrictions around what you can and can't own. The New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, their trading teams don't sit near the exchanges, and they're actually completely away from the exchange and the operating software as well. And that is because, you don't want these CEOs and these traders trading off of the market data that they're getting, because that gives them an edge over everybody else and would allow them to kick our butts much more often. So you don't want exchange operators and even, employees of exchanges trading against the people using their exchange. And that is kind of what it seems like here. Now, how hard, was he trading against people, or was he just using this to enact personal bias? We don't know. And I'm not defending him, or, we do not know everything. We just know, what we know from this lawsuit. So in the grand scheme of things, this is not a good thing. But, there's kind of 2 big signals here. This is the CFTC lawsuit. The CFTC already has jurisdiction over Bitcoin and Ethereum as commodities. CFTC has received this ruling by multiple judges dating back 5-6 years. It's been reaffirmed multiple times. This is certainly probably something the SEC does not enjoy, but the CFTC currently has jurisdiction, and they called Bitcoin and Ethereum both commodities in their lawsuit, thus furthering the jurisdiction. Obviously the courts, anything can change, with the right kind of lawsuit and the right kind of ruling. But, in my opinion, if CZ potentially bends the knee, maybe takes pays a fine, kind of deals with this in the proper way so that he is not, completely criminally affected and the exchange can still operate. If that happened and the CFTC still has jurisdiction over Bitcoin and Ethereum, it continues to hurt the SEC's case of trying to, at least transfer Ethereum into a security. So there's a silver lining and a bad situation here on both ends. And obviously, crypto just came off, where it just dropped pretty solidly, Bitcoin, ETH, all alts on this news. So we're going to discuss that price action. Right now, we don't know a whole lot, but it does appear that CZ and Binance are being sued by the CFTC, and Bitcoin and Ethereum are being called commodities in the lawsuit. So that's really all we know for now. So let's move on to price action. Discussing DXY, obviously, right around the same price as when we discussed last Friday. It does look like it wants to kind of seep down back lower to this support line, but it's a very slow moving and really ugly asset. So we do know if this moves higher, if it breaks above the previous daily close, risk is likely to be hurt more. If this moves lower, then risk will likely recover into the end of the week. One thing before we do get into equities and crypto is I do want to let you know this week we have every single day this week, a Fed governor speaks. So Fed Governor Jefferson today, Fed Gov Barr testifies to the Senate and House on Tuesday, Wednesday. Fed President Collins speaks. Fed President Barkin speaks. And then we also have New York Fed President Williams speak, and then 2 other Fed governors into Friday evening. So, and then the big news is, of course, PCE. So PCE is the Fed's preferred inflation metric. And of course, core PCE is predicted to come down month over month, potentially stay even year over year. So we want to see that come in lower than expected. We'll discuss this later on in the week. Not very important right now, but this is a very important data point that will come up on Friday. And of course, every week that we've had this many Fed governors or Fed presidents speak is typically it's bred bearish volatility as the Fed governors have been enacting, hawkish speak in absence of the FOMC meeting and of course in between the data points. So this could send us lower, through Thursday, bearish volatility. And then if PCE is good, we could see a boost come Friday. So we'll continue to discuss that throughout the week. We obviously don't know how PCE is going to come in. We don't have much indication yet. So just an idea based on history, bearishness from the Fed speakers, bullishness from the data print. But we'll, of course, discuss that as we continue to move on. So equities, these are the lines that I drew for the Trade the Chain community very early this morning, right around, just before market open. Obviously we did not break above, the 40-10 level, and we were rejected right around the 40-10 level and made it back to the previous daily close. So we're hovering around 39.80. If we break through 39.80, the first stop would be 39.60. And if we broke through that, we would come down to 39.30. So you really do want 39.75, 39.80 to hold so that we re-attack the 40-10 level and potentially higher. If this level breaks, then we're headed lower to the estimated 200 moving average on the 1 hour, which, like I said, is 39.60-ish. And then below that is about 39.30 if you break lower. So, and interestingly enough, I've talked about this many times, is Bitcoin is still following equities. And even though we got the news that we just got, equities have been on a downturn since the markets opened. And now Bitcoin obviously on a downturn. So much more exacerbated likely because of the lawsuit in relation to CZ, but still more or less following equities, when you look at the hour by hour. So Bitcoin swept the lows that it experienced last Wednesday. So basically last week's lows have been swept, and that is a very important indication for future price action. So the fact that we're still holding this level and swept these lows is actually a bullish indication to start. Nothing that I'm logging immediately now, but certainly a check in the right box for the bulls. So we swept these lows. I did tell the Trade the Chain community, from where we were trading, break below the VWAP. Your first stop is 27.35. Then your next stop, if you break below that, is obviously the recent lows, which we swept. So although we did not get the bullish indication, we did say below the VWAP, this is where we're going. Pretty quick trade there for the TTC community. Only took about 2-3 hours for a nice, what size trade is that? Nice 3-4% trade depending on where you close. So that's what we do for the TTC community every morning, is we give this exact type of analysis. I left the lines here for everybody today so you could see how simple it is. It is basically break above this level, you're attacking this level. Stay below this level, you're moving down to one of these levels. And obviously both were hit. So that's, it's an if this, then that statement. Trading's not that difficult, just pressing the buttons at the right time is. So right now, we're at the 26 points, or we swept the 26.6 level. We're staying above it. We want to stay above 26.6 for bullishness. If we close below this, it is going to get very bearish and ugly very quickly. So we do not want to do that. Basically, what we want to do is hold this. Maybe we chop around this level a little bit more. And then we want to reclaim the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average. So I'm going to delete these to give you exactly what I'd like to see. Basically, we chop, maybe we go up here, chop a little bit, and then we reclaim the estimated 200 moving average, which if we zoom in, you can see the 1 hour VWAP, or the weekly VWAP, I should say, is curling down to meet the 1 hour, or the 1 hour estimated 200 moving average. So if we can get above the estimated 200 moving average, then we'll be above both that and the VWAP, and we can reattack the previous daily close at 28K, and then of course reset that whole analysis where if we can get above 28K, you're moving back up here. Or if you stay below, then you're moving back down like that. So that's exactly what I'd like to see. And then of course, in the bearish scenario, if we do close below 26.6, we are likely, maybe if we get lucky, we catch at 26, else you are likely heading down to 25. So that's how Bitcoin's looking for now. We got the easy trade today. Now we wait a couple hours to see how 26.6 holds and see if we can get it back above the estimated 200 moving average for the 1 hour chart, which happens to be around 27.4 right now. Looking at Ethereum, not as simple, but still relatively simple. Swept last week's lows. The lows from both Saturday, Wednesday, and as early as Monday. So very similar to Bitcoin, we swept these lows. So what we want to see is obviously 1700, 1705 hold for Ethereum. And just so you know, this is where we were trading very early this morning. I said you get above the VWAP, you can get back above the previous daily close, then maybe recent highs. Below the VWAP, this is where you're heading. And we obviously, got a little bit lower than where I initially, said, but, still a profitable trade. If you took that trade this morning, it was about a 3% trade. So not too shabby. So let's go ahead and delete, these lines, and let's, make sense of where we'd like things to head. So if we can stay above 17.5, similar to Bitcoin, maybe we curl around here a little bit and then lift back up. I would probably expect, 1750 to start acting at resistance. But what we want to do is get above both, again, the VWAP and the estimated 200 moving average, and flip that to supports to then hopefully head back to the recent highs around 1800 that we experienced on very early Sunday morning. So if we close below the 1705 number, which is below the support, and of course although we did dip down there, we have not closed below it yet. If we close below it, then we're likely sifting down into this level around here. A lot of trading here, so I would expect some sparring in terms of price action, down to the 1650 level. But in my opinion, as long as if we do break down below this level, close below this support level, it's not going to look good. And you obviously very much like Bitcoin, like I said, if we break below 26.6, that bullish trend will begin to get lost. It is the same for Ethereum if you lose the 1705 level. So moral of the story is likely going to hear some hawkishness from Fed governors this week. CZ just got sued. So have to let that, news parse through. I would assume we'll probably hear some more stuff from the SEC. We also have obviously banking issues to deal with. So we are certainly not out of the woods yet. But the moral of the story is I think crypto will still more or less follow equities, although will obviously be more volatile than equities. So if equities do catch and hold here, I would expect this similar to occur for Bitcoin and Ethereum, with Bitcoin obviously being the stronger asset as it has been. Let's just as a final note, just kind of, hey, here's what's going on for the week. ETH Bitcoin is still suppressed. We could still deviate. We've been talking about this for days and days. We could still deviate and head up here and do that. But until that happens, Bitcoin is still the stronger asset. Watch for this, because there's still, we've been talking about it for a while, and it still looks like it's possible. But until this happens, Bitcoin is a stronger asset and should be treated as such. So good luck. Happy trading. Hopefully we hold 26.6K and we are higher tomorrow. And hopefully we have some more trades lined up for you tomorrow as well. So speak to everybody tomorrow, and good luck with your trades today. Peace.